Okay, y'all, so I don't know what's going on with Jay-Z and what is his problem or his lawyers, because they have submitted an affidavit that came from some private investigators that went to Jane Doe's house. Now, this is crazy because nobody's supposed to know who Jane Doe is. Nobody should have went to her house. And as I told you guys a few days ago, she is already claiming that she's being harassed and she feared for her life. That was one of the reasons that she dropped the lawsuit against Jay-Z. And so now this affidavit information has came out because these supposed private investigators showed up at her door questioning her, trying to get her to change her story. I think I told you guys about that a few days ago, and now the paperwork has been submitted to show proof. So there's proof that they actually did show up. And so the crazy part about this whole situation is these private investigators are claiming that they were not hired by Jay-Z or his legal team, and basically they just came out of the blue and someone else hired them to go question her. But no telling who they claiming that is, because they didn't reveal that information. But why are you going to question this Jane Doe, and what benefit is it to you? If it wasn't Jay-Z and it's not Diddy, who will have you go question this woman? And then how would you even find out her identity? Now, I know you're a private investigator, but y'all ain't that cold where you can find Jane Doe. At least I don't think. So what would be the benefit for you to just show up at her door questioning her on a case that was already thrown out? And then on top of that, Jay-Z is foolish and his legal team to use this paperwork and submit this affidavit. If you don't have anything to do with this, it really make it look like you do, okay? And this only backs up Jane Doe story of her being harassed by people that's threatening her, okay? Because no one should be contacting her or going to her house. Now, this is the affidavit, and I'm going to try to read it to you guys as much as I can because it's still very small on the screen. It looks weird, but I'll try to get it read for you guys. And I apologize for the glare in my glasses, but I gotta have them on. Okay, it says, now this is from the female private investigator. You know what? I hope she's not lying. I really hope this lady is not lying, but because according to Jane Doe and all the articles that's been put out, and she was somebody interviewed Jane Doe, and she said she never told no private investigators that Jay-Z didn't do anything to her. But according to this affidavit, it's saying something totally different. So let me get into it. It says, I, Charlotte Henderson, declare as follows. I make this declaration in support of plaintiff ex parte application in connection with defendant's special motion to strike. Unless otherwise noted, I have personal knowledge of the facts stated herein, and if called upon to testify, I could and would competently testify thereto. I am a licensed private investigator. I was not hired by the plaintiff or plaintiff's attorneys to perform the investigation I described in this declaration. I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. But let me keep going. On Friday, February 21st, 2025, along with investigator James Butler, I met with plaintiff Jane Doe. Ms. Doe, the person whose behalf defendants filed the lawsuit captioned as Jane Doe versus Sean Combs, and case number, okay, let me skip all that, in Southern District, New York, on October 20th, 2024. To protect Ms. Doe's privacy and identity, I am not disclosing her name, or any other facts that enable me to conclude the woman I met was in fact Ms. Doe. Let me try to make this a little bit bigger. We met with Ms. Doe on the front porch of her home in Alabama. Ms. Doe confirmed that she was in fact the Jane Doe plaintiff in the lawsuit. Ms. Doe, Mr. Butler, and I were the only people present. That's the crazy part. I don't know if people missed that. But so that means that when you rolled up to her door, you had the audacity to ask her, anybody else here? Is it anybody else in your house? You here alone? So that's a sign of intimidation right there. Because how would you know who else is in her house? How would you know that unless you asked her that? Which, to me, is a sign of intimidation for you to even, and that's disrespect for one. See, look, okay, yeah. But for you to even ask her that, who else is there? Yeah, you're very bold, baby. Let me keep going. Throughout our discussion, Ms. Doe appeared calm and at case. What they mean at case? She maintained a natural demeanor and engaged in conversation freely. Ms. Doe's body language, including her nodding, relaxed posture, and steady tone of voice, reinforced she did not feel scared or intimidated during our interaction. Yes, she did. That's why you're trying to, break that down and emphasize that she didn't, because she did. At no point during our interaction did Ms. Doe request to be left alone. During our conversation, Ms. Doe told me, among other things, the following facts. She saw an advertisement on Facebook for the AVA law firm concerning Sean Combs. The AVA law group referred her to defendant Tony Busby and his law firm. Ms. Doe met, let me try to move this up. Ms. Doe met Mr. Busby for the first time in Houston, Texas. He paid to fly her there. Their meeting to discuss the case took place when Ms. Doe flew out for an interview that Mr. Busby had arranged for Ms. Doe to give to NBC News in Mr. Busby's office. Jane Doe stated to me that Mr. Carter did not SA her. Jane Doe stated to me that she originally told Mr. Busby that she had been the R word by Mr. Combs, and a world-renowned female celebrity was also present for the and that Mr. Busby suggested that she claimed Mr. Carter was another R word. Okay, Jane Doe stated Busby brought Jay-Z into it, and he was the one that kind of pushed me towards going forward with Jay-Z. Jane Doe said that Mr. Busby asked her if Mr. Carter had been at the party. Ms. Doe told Mr. Busby that Mr. Carter was at the party, but she told him that Mr. Carter did not take part in any SA of Ms. Doe. Jane Doe confirmed the following regarding Mr. Carter during our interview. Jay-Z had nothing to do with this, correct? Right. Other than he was at the party that you were at. So, he did not, do something to you. No. I'm trying not to use all these words, y'all. He was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with any SA towards you. Yeah, she responded, yeah. Jane Doe said to me that lawyers at Mr. Busby's law firm told her that if she pursued Mr. Carter, she would get a payout. Ms. Doe said to me that shortly before Mr. Busby dismissed the lawsuit against Mr. Carter, Mr. Busby told Miss Doe that Mr. Carter was threatening to unalive her, trying to skip those words, in response to her lawsuit, and could come after her. Upon hearing that, Ms. Doe agreed to drop her case. Ms. Doe stated 4 times that Mr. Carter did not her. After Ms. Doe had voluntarily and consistently affirmed this, we inquired whether she would be open to signing an affidavit reflecting what she had told us. She responded by saying, "But how does this help me? I declare under penalty." Okay, so they basically signed to say that everything that they said in this affidavit was true. And I don't believe it at all. I don't believe it at all. And even if she had said that, if you showed up to her door and she was already in fear, because no telling what else and other things that's probably been happening to this woman to make her be in fear. No telling what's going on. So you probably not the only one. She probably been being followed. There's probably people sitting in front of her house. It could be other things that's going on that we haven't even heard about. So even if she did admit to it, it's probably because you showed up at her door unexpected, talking about who here. Are you home alone? Who asked that? Because obviously you asked her that. I don't think that she voluntarily told you that. That's number one. And if I was the judge, I would not let them use none of this in the courtroom. I wouldn't. Because first of all, who are you, and what is your purpose for even bothering this Jane Doe? What do you get out of the deal? And if they didn't hire you, who did? So you just show up and take it upon yourself to jump into this case. And then if that's the case, if you did that and went and interviewed her and asked her these questions, how did you get in contact with Jay-Z? Because the last time I checked, it's not that easy to get in touch with somebody, a celebrity. He don't even barely respond. Well, he don't respond to people as far as I know. So how did you get in touch with him? And he just gonna throw what you say in his lawsuit, right? I don't believe any of that. I really don't. I feel like they're trying to harass her and they're trying to twist her words. And this affidavit means nothing as long as she's still saying that she did not tell them that. So this affidavit is trash and it should be thrown out because she just recently said that she did not tell the private investigators any of this and that she still stand by her story. So y'all basically made this up. And if I was the judge, honey, it would be problems because y'all, like, again, playing in the court. Just like a Spyro, whatever you want to call him, Jay-Z lawyer, like he was doing in the beginning of the lawsuit that Tony Busby had out, you know, with the Jane Doe against him and Diddy. Spyro was playing, disrespecting, oh, my bad, y'all. Disrespecting the court extremely bad. Filing all this different paperwork, all these motions, being disrespectful, basically politely calling Busby out of his name, and trying to discredit him. And it ain't even 3 days and you doing all this. So basically this they way of trying to intimidate this lady, this lady. And something need to be done about this. I think they real shady. Jay-Z would have been better off just going on about his business. As long as nobody else is coming for you, you should have left this alone. You should have left this alone. Because according to your lawyer, when he did that press conference, there was no possible way that you could have even been at a party that this Jane Doe was at to begin with. According to him, in the timing and all that he had up on the monitor, trying to prove that it was no possible way that her story would have worked out. Well, in this affidavit, the private investigator basically threw you under the bus by saying, so he was there, but he didn't do anything, right? And the Jane Doe said, yeah, according to this affidavit. So that means that you were there. So how y'all gonna try to say most of her story is wrong, but parts of it is right? Because according to your lawyer, there is no possible way that you and her could have even been in the same room together, according to the timing that she gave in her story. No possible way. Because he said that you guys was at a public establishment at the time, that you was at some type of business, commercial establishment at the time that she gave in her story. So then how now you're going to use an affidavit that has a lie in it? Because the lie would be that Miss Doe is still saying that you were there, but you didn't do anything. Your lawyer said there's no possible way you could be there. Yeah, I remember that. And this only proves that they continue to try to harass and intimidate this lady. I don't care if she's telling the truth or not. Leave the lady alone at this point. I understand that people will try to, when they're innocent, they have the right to try to, prove their innocence and come after the person that is making claims against them, especially if it's false claims. But at this point, you're harassing her. And if you're not, the people that found her, the fake and private investigators, I'm going to call them fake. Because I don't care if they are or not. You have no right to just show up at somebody's door asking questions when you knew that this lady was anonymous for a reason. So for you to show up when you know that she's already, probably scared. We already know some of the issues, that's been exposed about her mental state, we already know it's something going on there. Leave her alone. What are you doing? And if I was the judge, you would be going to the back. That's where you would be going. Because who told you, Miss, what's your name, Charlotte Henderson, to show up at her door? I couldn't be no judge. I'm telling you that right now. They really playing games in this case. And it's just so much going on. That's why I only report, like I say, every once in a blue moon about this, because it's too much going on. It's back and forth. And they really playing with the courts. They really playing with the courts. So I don't know who to believe. I don't know if Busby BSing or, and I can't even say I don't know if Jay-Z BSing, because I really do feel he is. Everything in this video is alleged too. But I really do feel that Jay-Z is BSing, because if you are not doing the things that this Jane Doe said you are doing, you would not accept this affidavit from these private investigators just because it make you look bad. And I wouldn't want anything to do with that. I'm going to prove my innocence on my own. I am going to pursue this lawsuit against Busby and this Jane Doe on my own. I'm not going to take some paperwork from you and who hired you and where you come from and why should I use your statements or your affidavit in my lawsuit. Because it only make me look bad. And if I don't know where you come from, I don't want to get caught up in that. So yeah. There should be some consequences for this, in my opinion. I don't know if it's a possible way that it could be, but if I was the judge, I would be highly upset, and I would throw Jay-Z case out. Get out my courtroom, one dreadlock head man. For real, it's frustrating at this point. It would be frustrating to me as a judge, because you're playing with the courts. You're trying to tell me that you're not doing anything to intimidate this lady. She already dropped the case. I get it. You have the right to come after anybody who possibly lied on you. But if you did not hire these people, why are you accepting their help? When you don't even know how they showed up to her house. You have no proof that they didn't show up and intimidate her and threaten her or say anything out of pocket. This affidavit don't prove that. It's only what they wanted to put in there. What else did you ask her? Because you have to read between the lines. Anytime you talk about it was only me, her, and the other male private investigator there, how would you know that unless you asked her that? And if you asked her, why would you ask anybody that you pulling up to their house as a stranger who is in their house? How would you know that? So you was trying to intimidate her. Yeah. This case is all over the place. Too much going on. And it needs to get to an end. Right now, we need to get back to, I think, what's going on in this Diddy case, because stuff supposed to be coming out with that. Jay-Z, I hope that his case is thrown out, because it's already tarnished. And what he's doing is revealing more about himself than he is about Busby and Jane Doe like he thought he would. It's really making him look bad. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This making him look bad in my opinion. It's not helping his case. It's starting to make him look even more guilty, because the way Busby was moving and the way things happened and with Jane Doe, I kind of questioned, okay, is Busby on the up and up? So I was kind of like wondering, but now it's making Jay-Z look bad. He needs to just leave it alone, let it go, and move on. This is one of them situations that, yeah, he need to move on. Right now, I'm rambling. Tell me what y'all think about the situation in the comments. It's so much going on right now with this, but I'll try to keep you guys updated on anything that I find out, because it's so much, and I'm sure you guys been hearing it. Tell me what y'all think going on with this, and until next time, I'm out. Bye, y'all.